Hey, this is Brian Jenkins from RunSignup. So a couple housekeeping things before we get started. We are going to share the slides that you see in this presentation afterwards. There's some really good data in here, things that I think a number of people will be super interested in. We also definitely appreciate your questions. So the format that we handle is if you use the GoToWebinar's question function as we're going through the slides, you can enter in a question. If it's a question we can answer, Herman will be moderating those questions and sending answers back if he's able to, and then he'll pull out some of the better questions that seems to be a trend among everyone, and then we'll kind of answer those at the end. So without any further ado, let's get started. So just a little bit about RunSignup and who we are. So we are event technology experts. Many of you are probably customers of ours, so I'll keep this brief. But if you're not familiar with RunSignup, our goal is to keep it free and easy for small businesses and nonprofits to generate more revenue and grow their events and engage with their attendees. We've helped since 2010 raise $1.6 billion for our customers, and in 2022 we're going to work with over 26,000 events. And again, really want to emphasize that there is no setup fee, there is no monthly fee, and it's completely free software to use. So who am I? So I'm Brian Jenkins. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at RunSignup. I've worked with tens of thousands of events, and so my specialty is definitely thinking about how we can utilize different strategies, because everybody kind of has a hook, and how do we use those hooks to suck in people and then get those the people that you suck into your event to tell their friends and family. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about pricing strategy. We're going to talk about the pricing trends, pricing incentives, referrals, how do we activate race day registrations, and promotion. So a quick high-level overview of pricing strategies. So the reason that all of us are always thinking about pricing strategy is that it's really hard. It's very hard to decide what you're going to charge, and quite often many people just kind of charge what other people charge. These are some of the best practices and tools that we have. The number one most effective tool is price increases based on date. This is the largest thing that I see. It is tried and true. If you're not sure what to do, you should definitely have tier-based pricing. So, price goes up on July 1st, things like that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Group discounts, so team or multi-person discounts. Block pricing, which this isn't utilized very often, but it's an interesting capability. Club and membership discounts, this is utilized quite often. The membership discount could trigger some ideas for some of the audience in that it's a very flexible tool. We're going to talk about loyalty sales and how do you take loyal customers and maybe give them an incentive. We're going to talk about age-based pricing and then multi-race or multi-event discounts and coupons. So if you're a user of RunSignup and you click on financial and then pricing, you'll see a bunch of these pricing options within the platform. So if you haven't looked at this before, it could be helpful. So you can see there's things like age-based pricing, multi-person pricing, membership, club membership, multi-event discounts. So you'll see a bunch of different options in there. So let's talk a little bit about multi-person pricing and team pricing. So what is multi-person pricing? The easiest way to answer this is if I put multiple people into my cart and check out, are you offering an incentive if I check out with multiple people in my cart? So in this example, you can see here, they've got a multi-person pricing discount called family pricing. So it's from member number 3 to member number 6. And then you could offer a discount per person or a price for the overall discount. And there's different options. You could say, hey, this is only applicable for the 5K and not the half marathon. You could not offer a shirt. There's quite a number of different things that you could do with this. But if your event is very family focused and you get some feedback that they would like to have a family option, this is a great solution because it doesn't blanket put a family discount out. They actually have to have that many people in their cart when they check out to achieve this discount. And the other nice thing is that you can set price dates on this as well, meaning you can say, hey, this pricing option in this example ends on January 17th, or you could have multiple pricing options within there, meaning like after January 17th, on January 18th, a new pricing schedule goes into place at that point. So teams are a great way to offer discounts because our tool has some really nice ways to kind of ensure that people aren't getting the discount just by signing up for a team. So within our groups teams tool, you can set it so that there's an option. So if I want to have a team competition where if you get at least 10 people on your team, everyone on the team gets a discount at that point. So, but the discount does not kick in until member number 10. So here's some of those options here. So from member number 1 to 4, everybody pays $25. After member number 4, the price is $20, and those first original registrants get a $5 refund. So this is really to protect the event organizer from people just creating teams and getting discounts. The system is validating that. So this will not kick into place until the 5th person pays. And these refunds are automatically processed by RunSignup at no charge. So age-based pricing and memberships. So age-based pricing, I've seen it somewhat fall out of favor. I'm not seeing it as often as it used to be, but it certainly is a good tool. So this chart, it may be a little difficult to read, and that's why we're going to send these slides afterwards. This is a breakdown of age groups. So if you're trying to incentivize certain age groups, you can kind of understand the percentage of the population of runners in our database that where do they break on that age curve. So offering discounts to certain groups may be more advantageous. So this is age by event type. So, in-person events, virtual challenges, what was that age range breaking down? This could be helpful if you're doing virtual events or virtual challenges to see, again, if you're offering age price incentives, what age ranges do you want to target? So within our platform, we actually support a really nice set of options is that you can actually have multiple age ranges. So you can see in this example from 0 to 12. Simple hint here, I do not recommend doing 0 to 12. I recommend doing 1 to 12 because it's really quite often that people will put in this year as their date of birth just by accident. So I recommend having a discount of the age of 1. And then you can also have an age range of 60 and over. And you can set prices or offer discounts, or you can say, hey, you don't get a t-shirt. So there is no limit on the number of age ranges you have. The other really nice thing about age-based pricing is that you can enable this to show up on your RunSignup homepage. So if the price of the 5K is $25 and you're offering a price of $10 for someone at 60, that would automatically show up on the homepage. So memberships. So memberships are probably one of my favorite ways to have unique discounts. So this is a good example here that we have. So it's asking if you're military. So if you're military, it's $5. So obviously we can't validate every single person that is military, so it's somewhat on the honor system, but you can ask for additional information such as a member number or, in this case, what branch are you? And it'll automatically apply that discount. So I've seen this used, like, are you a teacher? Are you a student? Are you a member of our organization? Things like that. And then we also have some automated memberships. So we have USA Track and Field, USA Triathlon, US Ski and Snowboard, US Cycling membership, AARP, lifetime membership, US Master Swimming, or your even own custom club membership. So here's an example of what someone's going to see when they're registering. Are you military? Yes, I am military. Then what branch? And then at checkout, it's going to automatically apply that discount. So it's a really nice flexible feature if you have a large group of people who are going to be attending your event who are entitled to a discount. So club memberships. So the difference between club memberships and the previous membership tool is that this is actually tied to our club database. So if you're not familiar, RunSignup offers a club membership platform. So you can set up your club. Your club does not have to be a running club, tri club, bike club. It can be any type of club that you would like. And we have some of our for-profit companies that work with us, they set up clubs for loyalty reasons. So if you're a member of the club, you get a certain discount, and some of those clubs require people to pay, some of them don't. But what's really nice is that you can go in, set up from this date to this date, they're getting a specific discount, and you can see how we're selecting certain events or getting a $10 discount. And then we can set that we want to offer it to a specific club. In this case, it's the Knoxville Track Club. So if you're a member, a current member, not just a member, you have to be a member in good standing, meaning your membership is valid at the time of registration. If you're a member of the Knoxville Track Club, you will get a $10 discount on the marathon, half marathon, 2-person relay, 4-person relay, or 5K. So in the registration process, one of the other options that we have is, if you're using our club system, is that you have the ability to upsell people on the club. So you could get a discount on your fees. Would you like to join the club? And if they click, I want to join the Knoxville Track Club, they'll be then given the options to become an individual, family, or student membership of the club. So it's a great way to increase your club membership. And also remember, this is a validated discount. So if my name is Michael and I'm registering as Mike for the event, it's not going to auto recognize that, because it's truly checking the club membership role and who's in that database, and it would be, say, Michael Jenkins instead of if I'm entering as Mike Jenkins. So multi-event discounts. So if in this example, if you sign up for 3 events at the same time, so if I signed up for the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon in the same cart, I would get a 20% discount. And so you can see there's some options down here to apply the discount to the lowest cost event. Don't allow a giveaway, and don't allow age-based pricing if this discount applies, because you can start to see how if you start turning on multiple different pricing strategies, they could start, discount, discount, discount all the way down. So you do want to be paying attention to some of these options to make sure if you're offering age-based pricing, you're not also then offering a multi-event discount. So I would really only recommend the multi-event discount if it is possible for that an individual participant to do multiple events. So that's a little bit more rare, where it may not be possible to sign up for the 5K and 10K and actually do both of those events. So you wouldn't want to offer that if that's not the case. So this is one of our more interesting features that not a ton of our customers use, but it has been successful in the past, and so that's why I wanted to highlight it here. Is you can see down here, there's a lot of text up here. There's a lot to think about here, but down here, this is really simple. So up to 100 participants, the price is $10. Up to 500 participants, the price is $20. Up to 1,000 participants, the price is $30. So this is a fantastic tool if you're trying to launch registration. So you need to have a really big build up, meaning like, hey, we're opening registration July 1st. You need to have a list of people who are opening and paying attention to your emails, and then you're using this to force demand. Like, the reason you want to register today is because if you're not one of the first 100, the price goes up $10. If you're not one of the first 500, the price goes up another $10. And the nice thing is that we offer the ability to turn this on, as well as having date-based pricing options as well. So you can actually use both of these features in tandem. So loyalty or priority list. So again, if you're trying to generate a reason to register early, which I think many of us are, is that you can create a loyalty list. And a loyalty list can be anyone that you want. So you would create like an Excel list of maybe it's previous participants, maybe it's members of your club, it's anything. It's anybody that you want to be on that list. And you can say, it's in this example, it starts on May 10th, ends on May 23rd. So you can set like a 24-hour, 48-hour, 1-week window where only people on the list can register. And one of the other really neat features of this is the ability to say number of buddies allowed. So I can sign up if I'm on the list, and I could sign up 2 buddies in this example. So it's something that's very, very helpful to, again, registration launches. So if you're trying to launch registration and you want to reward previous participants, thinking about utilizing this tool is a great option, because it's exclusive. That's one of the things that you want to think about, is like, why would somebody want to do this? Because it's exclusive. And you may offer a special perk as well for people who register within this loyalty period as well. So these slides are probably the slides that I think everyone's going to be really interested in. There's some very interesting data in here. So these are our average price trends. Again, feel free to screenshot this, but you will get these in the slides afterwards. So you can actually see the progression on prices. So let's look at the 5K. So the average price in 2019, which was the last year prior to the pandemic that there was a lot of in-person races happening, it was $28.05. Well, now it's $30.41. So the price change from 2019 to 2022, 8.41%. If you look at the 10K, $35.97, $39.81. So you can definitely see that the average race price is going up. Now, if we look at triathlons, you can see the average price was $90 in 2019, and now the average price is $104.14. And interestingly, ultras kind of are matching that, and ultras have had a very significant price increase, and that's in part because there's been a significant increase in demand in ultras. So I found this chart extremely helpful. Hopefully others will find this helpful as well. Another question is that how many price increases do events typically do? So if we look at the 5Ks in 2022, the average 5K is doing one price change. So that means maybe early registration and then late registration, or early registration and race day registration. You can start to see as the events get longer in distance, there tends to be more price changes. And the reason for that is because if you're signing up for a half marathon or marathon, you probably want to sign up, 3 months early, something like that, so you have enough time to train and get ready for this challenging event. So when you're thinking about your pricing strategy, I wouldn't totally agree with having one price change for a 5K, 10K. I really like having an early price, like especially if you're opening your registration 6 months or 5 to 6 months ahead of time. Having 2 or 3 price changes, really, that is the #1 way to get people to respond to an email. Is like the price is going up next week, the price is going up tomorrow. So if you only have one price change, you really only have one shot at trying to, get people to commit to your event. So registration trends, unfortunately, we were not able to get this one updated for 2022, but if we go back and look at 2019, on the race week, about a quarter of the participants were registering race week. 8 to 14 days out, 12.5%. 15 to 30 days out, it is 20.6%. And then if we start looking further and further out here, I would love to be able to layer over price changes, with this, because I think we'd see a steep spike in registrations and then a fall off that's correlated to the price increase. So again, there's not a ton of people registering early, but the value of these early registrations is enormous, because the people that pay early in this 120, so it's about, about 15% of these people that are signing up more than 3 months out, is extraordinarily high. And it's not because of the money they give you, it's because they are obviously organized, they care about your event, and they really, really are your ambassadors. They're much more likely to tell their friends, like, oh, yeah, I'm busy that weekend, I'm signed up for this event, or have you thought about doing this event? Because most participants that are going to sign up this early are hoping that some of their friends will come join them. So, oh yeah, I forgot we did actually have this, and we just don't have it for 2022. So registrations 3 days prior to a price increase or registration close, you can just see, when you get really close to these price changes, like there's a meaningful amount of registrations coming in right at the end. Now, what's interesting in 2020, I guess that we probably should throw that out, is that there's people signing up more than 3 days before price increases. This data can be manipulated some. The better that you're promoting price changes, meaning are you covering social media? Are you covering email? Is it on your website? How many different channels are you utilizing to let people know about your price increase? That's going to manipulate this data. So you definitely want to make sure that you're cross-promoting your price increases and not just relying on email. So summary is pricing is a tried and true marketing strategy, and looking at what other people have done with their pricing is really important. But make sure you understand your pricing strategy. I actually worked with an event this year that they didn't have to. They chose to increase their price $20 this year. And the reason is they hadn't increased their prices in 25 years. So that's kind of what can happen sometimes, is that you can get stuck because you just don't know what should we charge? And so you really need to understand your whole marketing calendar and what are you doing and when are you doing things and where does pricing fit within that. So, and lastly, I kind of mentioned this before, is like make sure you're communicating those deadlines, because price increases that aren't communicated just aren't going to generate any revenue. So how does pricing increase registrations? So we've talked about some of the different options and things like that. So offering price discounts and incentives, it's all about creating urgency. So most of us are procrastinators. RunSignup, we put on a symposium July 27th and 28th in Philadelphia. And interestingly enough, when we do price increase emails, that's when people register. So even for our own symposium, to an industry that knows that the tricks behind price increases, it does drive people to register. So just keep that in mind. So let's talk a little bit about coupons. So what percentage of registrations are using coupons? So it's kind of interesting. It's actually dropped after the pandemic. So the average discount amount is around $12, $13. So the total discounts here is 5.6 million, and the revenue from those coupons was 16.7 million. So pretty effective. Coupons definitely drive people to respond to an offer. So within our coupon system, there's a number of really great options that you have. So you can give the coupon code a name, you can give it a percentage amount, you can set when it starts, when it ends. You can upload a file if you have 1,000 codes or up to 1,000 codes. You can set the discount to be an overall discount, discount per registrant, or discount per registrant per event. So give me 1 second. So some of the advanced options that you have within coupons is you can have coupons that do or do not apply to giveaways, add-ons. They can work with club memberships or not, or race memberships or not. They also can include or exclude age-based pricing, multi-person pricing, multi-event discounts. You can also say, hey, this coupon only works for the half marathon. You can limit it to a number of registrations or number of transactions. One of the things that I encourage people to do if you're utilizing coupons, put rules to them, because if a coupon gets shared and you really want it to be used in a particular way, people are constantly Googling for discounts. So make sure that your discount has a start and an end and a limit of some sort, unless it's truly a coupon that you're not worried about being shared. So you can see here, there's some really advanced options where you can say the cart must be a certain number of dollars, like $100 or more, or they have to donate a certain amount, or there's a limit of event registrations per transactions. So generally these options I would be very cautious with, because they're going to be confusing to the consumer. One last thing, if you do put on multiple events, one of the really nice options in the platform is sharing the coupon with other events. So if you put on 2 other events and you're doing a Father's Day promotion, you could then say that this coupon works across these 2 other events. So the last thing from a pricing standpoint, we always want to remind people about referrals. In 2022, I've worked with a number of customers who have been extremely successful with referrals. So first of all, let's define what a referral is. So if I sign up for your event and I check out, once I check out, we gray out the screen and we show options to share on Facebook, Twitter, or email. And if I take action and actually share any of those, it automatically embeds a unique tracking link for each one of my, for me personally. And then when I share it, anyone that clicks on it, I could potentially get credit for their registration. So in 2021, and this is across all of our events where referrals were enabled, 8% of all of our transactions came from referrals. So if you have an aggressive referral program, we'll go into some of the settings that you have. We've seen as high as 25% of transactions, which is kind of off the charts, because when you have a referral program, we're not going to be able to attribute every single registration to every single person that refers. So for example, if I click on the referral link on my phone and then I register on my computer, and I'm using, different browsers, like let's say I clicked on it in Safari on my phone and then register in Chrome, we can't give credit for that. That's somewhat rare. So there's always going to be a little bit of breakage, or I click on the link and then I forget about it and I go do something else and register in a different way. Again, there's a little bit of breakage in this, but it just shows how effective this program really is. And then the other thing is that what we see is the cost per acquisition, meaning how much money does it cost the referral program actually cost this event, was $1.40. So that's an incredible return on investment. So this is another one that's got a ton of data in it. These are our referral reward results. Probably the thing that stands out to me is in 2021, $8.3 million worth of registrations from referrals, and only $231,000 in refunds. An ROI estimate of $3,493. That is unbelievable. And if you look at this is fairly consistent. In 2020, obviously it went up. We saw it kind of an incredible usage on the referral program, but this is probably more in line, $1.40 to $1.70 is what you're going to be looking at. So the first thing is that if you're interested in referrals, if you click on promotions, then referral tracking and setup, that will get you to the page to set this up. You can then click through the different boxes to enable referral rewards, and you can decide, what rules you want to apply. So the first rule is, after you turn it all on, is how many people does a participant need to refer to get a refund? And we get a lot of pushback on saying, well, I don't want to refund anyone. And the reason that you do this is that this is no different than a coupon. The difference is that this person has paid you and they're out telling their friends and family about your event, and you only have to pay them if they hit this referral threshold. So, and it does not have to be cash. You can also offer, items. So in this example, they're offering water bottles and Gooder glasses. But we generally recommend the referrals to be cash because we can automate the referral reward. So what we find is the sweet spot is that the threshold needs to be high enough to be somewhat difficult, but it shouldn't be too hard because otherwise no one's going to participate. And what we find is that it needs to be somewhere between 3 to 5 and a reward level of at least $15. If it's at 5, I generally recommend a $25 refund. So you don't have to offer refunds. There are other ways to incentivize or reward someone. So here's some interesting ideas. It's like a special T-shirt, tote bag, socks, premium jacket, access to a VIP hospitality tent, a personal thank you. I've always thought that VIP porta potties are like the best referral reward ever, but no one's ever taken me up on it. But you can definitely do some pretty interesting things to incentivize people. But if you're doing things outside of refunds, we do have reports that will tell you who's hit their referral reward, and you can pull those reports, and then you would want to recognize those people at the event or provide them their special goodie at the event. So the other thing that tends to happen with people utilizing referrals is that they tend to have a reward that stops. Meaning, most events say, hey, if you refer 3 people, you get a $15 refund, and there's nothing else being offered. Well, what we find is that if you continue to offer incentives, people might continue to do it. So I was just looking at an event this week where someone had referred 16 registrations. The next one was 15 and 14 and things like that. So if you have incentives that continue to go up, like if you refer 6 people, we'll refund you more money, or we'll offer you additional things like Visa gift cards. That does incentivize people to keep sharing, which is what you want. So here's an example of a client who has a really great looking referral program. So you can see how they've kind of stylized this for the Irving Marathon. They've got these different options. So it's get cash back and swag when you refer friends using your unique referral link found in your confirmation email from RunSignup. Refer 3 friends, get $15 back. Refer 6 friends, get $30 back, plus a free Irving Marathon running shirt and hat. Here's another example. So this is a zoo. So they're offering 3 referrals, get a discount to the gift shop. Then they're getting 1 plush, 2 tickets to adults night out, a summer wine festival. So you can see how they continue to escalate these rewards to continue to encourage people to refer their friends and family. Another example is refer 5 friends, get $25 registration fee, refer 10 friends and get an exclusive Run the Dogs shirt, refer 20 friends and get an exclusive tote bag. So the last thing from a pricing standpoint is many events that we work with close registration on Thursday or Friday, and many events are starting to try to figure out, can we leave registration open till the event time? And this is a really important thought. So many of us have experience with races, but if you interact with people who have never run a race before, if it says that registration's closed and you've never run a race before, you may believe that the race is sold out or that they're not accepting registrations anymore. So one of the key reasons for leaving registration open is that people who are thinking about doing your event, if they can't give you money, they may not show up to packet pickup. They may not show up on race day because they don't know whether that's acceptable or not. So one other thing about race day registration I wanted to mention is leveraging race day registration. RunSignup has a great set of tools so that you can leave registration open. You do need to collaborate with your timer. We have a fantastic check-in app that you can utilize. So as people are registering, even if they're like registering in the parking lot or registering on site, they will immediately show up in the check-in app. And if you're working with a race day certified timer, that means they know our tools, they know how to utilize them. They will guide you through this process so that you can leave registration open. And the big benefits of this is more revenue coming in, the better data coming in, and also it's building your email list. Because if somebody signs up on site with a piece of paper, I can almost guarantee you're not getting their email address. So there's a lot of things to consider for activating race day registration, but collaborating with your timer if it's a timed event is going to be important in that process. So one of the key things to take away is you need to make sure that you're communicating your pricing effectively. I talked about across the channel, so you have a bunch of different channels that people might find you. So make sure your pricing incentives, whatever they are effectively communicated to everyone so they understand. So showing you some examples of social sharing, and this is what this is specifically what the referral system is doing. So when someone checks out of your event and they hit post to Facebook, this is specifically what they're seeing. And then in this post, if you were to click on this link, that's the actual tracking link that we've built automatically for that participant. And that's what's driving what our measurement of how many referrals did that participant generate. A few things to consider about social sharing is, one is, this is my #1 rule for putting on events, please register for your own event. You don't have to necessarily pay. You could go back to and set up a coupon code, but register for your own event, hit post to Facebook and share it. So there's a lot of benefits to that. One is just making sure everything is working. 2 is just making sure that what's being shared, you actually like the images and text that are being shared. Because if you don't, you can go into the social sharing settings of RunSignup and actually update the text and the imagery that's being shared. So the more creative you are, the more clicks you may generate, because remember, this is free advertising that your participants are doing for you. So from a pricing standpoint for your websites, make sure that your program is clearly explained, include visuals. We looked at some examples earlier. If you have an aspect of it that can be fun, try to make it fun. If you're using the RunSignup capabilities of the cover page, there's some really great options to add these as images on the cover page. And then also you can potentially add a separate website tab about your pricing or pricing options or referral programs that you're offering. Be sure to include all of this in email. And again, going back to some of those other options for the website, make sure that it's blocked out. Like there's a section that's talking about, hey, we're giving a discount to military. Hey, we're offering club members discounts. Here's our referral program. Whatever it is, have a block of content that's specifically dedicated to it, that's that jumps out to people. All right, Herman, I'm guessing we have probably a fair number of questions. Are we ready to, and if you do have a question, go ahead and send them in if you haven't sent them in now. So Herman, what questions do we have?
Okay. So this one just came in. We closed registration 2 days before our race because we need to get a t-shirt count. How do we manage this if we take registrations on the day of the event?
So from a t-shirt standpoint, Herm, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So inside of RunSignup, we actually have a t-shirt count tool. So in our giveaway inventories, it'll actually pull a report that shows you how many t-shirts you have. And there's actually a giveaway projection tool. So you could type in, hey, let's say you have 240 registrations. You're expecting 300 registrations. You can actually type that in and it'll help you forecast how many shirts by what size that you would want to order.
And another question, when setting up price increase, what is the general time frame for setting up the increase? We are setting up the first increase 1 week before and a higher price the day of the event.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things is when you go back and think about the communication piece of pricing, I would generally say having at least 2 weeks before your event or a month before your event for that price increase. So you've got early registration, you've got a price increase, and then you've got race day registration. One of the most interesting things that we did this year was we did a study on our email marketing system. So like how many people open it, how many people click on it, how many people register from these email promotions. And one of the things that I took away from it was that it takes a long time. Like when you send emails out, people were clicking and registering on emails like 2 weeks after it was sent. So that's the reason why I'm cautioning you a little bit by having such a close price increase, is that if you're doing an email promotion, you need to give it time to get out into the world and people to open and click on it. Of course, the majority of people are going to open and click on it in the first 3 to 5 days, but people are still responding to that initial promotion about that pricing up to 2 weeks after an email is sent. What's next, Herm?
And looking like, let's see. Is there a shareable URL link if someone wants to share referrals that way for text and DMs?
Yes. So in their confirmation email, their unique sharing link is included. So they can grab that link. They can then, text it, DM it to people. But that is included in their confirmation email. And it's also something that if you're really going to push on the referral program, I would recommend enabling in our automated emails, our registration follow-up emails, and including their unique referral link. So that's one of our replacement tags, which means like you're pulling something from the RunSignup system. You can actually send that to them maybe 2 or 3 days after they've registered. And again, call out like this is your unique referral link.
All right, and we're gonna wrap it up for questions. If your question was not answered, because there are a decent amount in here, you will be reached out to by your account manager with an answer to your question. Thank you.
Yep, we're gonna send out these slides probably within the next 24 hours. So the fact you sign up for this webinar, you'll automatically get these slides and a copy of the recording. Thank you so much.